Welcome to State of the Offense. Today we will look at fantasy football matchups for the games on Sunday. In this video, we will break down the AFC South matchup between the Jaguars and Colts. Trevor Lawrence is looking to continue his hot streak. The Colts have a big advantage on the line of scrimmage against the Jaguars, but Lawrence has an abundance of weapons to pass to. The Jaguars are starting 4 unproven or below average offensive linemen this week against the Colts. I believe that the Jaguars will have to run a lot of short passing routes in order to move the ball, and will have trouble in the running game. Lawrence is a borderline start at quarterback this week. I rank Trevor Lawrence as my quarterback 13. The Jaguars have a lot of talent at the running back position with Travis Etienne and Tank Bigsby. The workload between the two running backs is assumed to mainly be for Travis Etienne, but I do expect Tank Bigsby to get a healthy split of the carries. This will be a tough matchup for the Jaguars in the running game. As a fantasy player, you hope that both of the running backs will be heavily involved in the passing game. If you can get away with benching Travis Etienne, it will probably help you. I rank Travis Etienne as my running back 39 this week. I don't have Bigsby rated yet, but I do expect his role to be greater than what most people expect. The Jaguars wide receiver core has a strong talent advantage over the Colts secondary. The Colts will struggle to cover all the wide receivers and tight ends for the Jags. Calvin Ridley is making his return to the league after missing more than a year, and he was the star of training camp. Christian Kirk's first year in Jacksonville exceeded all expectations, and he should have plenty of targets this week. Zay Jones' role will be a little less this year from last year, but he should do well this week. Calvin Ridley is my wide receiver 6, Christian Kirk my wide receiver 9, and Zay Jones my wide receiver 16. The Colts secondary outside of Kenny Moore won't be able to keep up with the Jaguars wide receivers. The tight end matchup for Jacksonville is favorable as well. Evan Ingram is my tight end 3 this week, and I view him as a very strong start. This is career start 1 for Anthony Richardson in the NFL after only 13 starts in college, and I think it will be a pretty tough go for him in the passing game. The Jaguars' corners are good enough to cover the Colts' wide receivers. Richardson will be able to earn some fantasy points on the ground. Richardson is my quarterback 26. I expect a low stat line in the passing game and for the Colts to stick to the running game. With Jonathan Taylor on the PUP list, the Colts' backfield work will be split between Deion Jackson and rookie Evan Hall. Zach Moss is listed as questionable with a broken arm he suffered early in training camp. While I expect the Colts to run a lot of zone read with Richardson, I expect the running back work to be split pretty evenly. All 3 running backs should produce against the Jaguars' front 7, but which one will be tough to predict. Deion Jackson is my highest rated Colt running back this week as my running back 41. Zach Moss will only complicate the situation if he plays. I don't expect much in the receiving game for any of the running backs for the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. has a tough matchup with Jags corners. Alec Pierce is the best deep threat on the Colts, so he may pop if Richardson achieves success in the deep game. I'm not very excited with either wide receiver in this game for the Colts. Michael Pittman Jr. is the wide receiver 72 this week, and Alec Pierce wide receiver 87. The Colts will play both Mo Alie-Cox and Kylen Granson at tight end because the Colts will mainly run a lot of 2 tight end sets to run the ball. Granson is the better receiver, but I don't believe that either Mo Alie-Cox nor Kylen Granson will produce much in the receiving game. Stay away from both in fantasy football. If you like today's coverage of the Jaguars and Colts, please hit the like button and subscribe to the channel.